What's up? Welcome back. Today we have a very exciting video. We have the brand new GoPro Hero 10. This is going to be my first impressions, first look, what it's like using it day one. It was just announced yesterday. This is the brand new GoPro Hero 10 with the bundled package. We're going to open it up and see what's inside. First off, this is what comes in the package. You've got the GoPro Hero 10 bundle and this little envelope, and inside the envelope is the 32 gigabyte SD card. So I'm gonna set that aside. Comes with this little travel case. Unzip it, and here we go. Oh wow, 2 batteries. That's awesome. GoPro clip, and we have a mount, a couple screws to keep it secure. We have a sticker mount, short clip, and a tall clip. Another shorty stick. Here we've got a USB A to C charging cable, and then the most important part of this whole package, the GoPro Hero 10. Here it is. On the back it says your camera must be updated before you can use it. So we got the same battery compartment, SD card slot. On the bottom we've got the clips for the mount. And let's power this on. So while this is updating, I'll let you know about a few things that I'm really excited about with this camera. It's got a brand new processor that's supposedly twice as fast. The GoPro Hero 9 was able to go up to 5K. I honestly didn't really use that very much because yeah, it did look better, but I never really needed it that much. It was also kind of hard to edit and drain the battery really fast. So this can go up to 5.3K. So we're gonna see like how the battery performs and how it is to edit. The spec sheet didn't say if this was a new sensor or anything like that, but it did say that there was improved low light performance and better contrast. So that's one thing that I'm really hoping for with this camera, is that there's better low light, because GoPros have always been pretty bad when it comes to low light, maybe like in the woods, like I use it a lot and it's kind of like dark, or especially like towards nighttime. GoPro footage is just honestly really bad. So those are some of the big things that I'm looking for, is better image, meaning better contrast, better low light, better dynamic range, and then also better colors is one thing that I'm really hoping for. First impressions of this right now is that it looks and feels identical. Now this has a memory card and a battery in it. This is the GoPro Hero 9. We are at 158.9 grams. Remember that number. GoPro Hero 10. Ooh, 152.9. So we shaved off 7 grams. Honestly though, I wonder if maybe like sweat buildup could account for this 7 grams. Who knows? Other than that though, this looks and feels just like the GoPro Hero 9. So right out of the box, I'm going to change a couple settings on here, and I'll walk you through what all those are in a future video. But I'm going to do that to match the GoPro Hero 9, so that when we're comparing footage back and forth, it should be a very realistic comparison of what the differences of these two cameras are going to be with the exact same settings. But in order to do that, we got to go for a run first and record some footage. So let's go. All right, so I just got to the trails and I have both the Hero 9 and the Hero 10. I'm gonna take them both out for a lap or so. Just try and get some footage with both of them in the exact same environment, same settings, same everything. And then once I get back to the car, I'm gonna drop off the 9 because I'm not gonna use it very much, and use mostly the 10 for the rest of the run. Not gonna be out here like super long running with 2 cameras because that's crazy. But got the Garmin Enduro on right now, and I was actually out here last night, but yeah, didn't realize that the Hero 10 was going to be delivered today. So I was just filming like a midweek update last night, but happy to be back out here today. Wearing the Salomon Ultra Pros. Hopefully be able to get some good footage of them today. All right, let's get some running. Okay, now I'm down to just Hero 10, and interestingly enough, I did just have it freeze on me, so not cool. I did put in the really expensive memory card and formatted it right before I started. GoPro's been updated to the most recent firmware, so what's going on? I don't know, but carrying just the 10 now because I'm going to test out a bunch of the different frame rates and yeah, go from there. Taking a couple pictures, so we'll see how those turn out. All right, now we are in 5.3K, 60 frames per second. And the Hypersmooth is in standard again, so oh, is this gonna look good? Let's see. Look at this place. Get to run here, but I do need to focus on running. I'm only 2 miles in. Been worried about filming and everything. Just need to run. Let's go. All right, now we are in 2.7K, 240 frames a second. So this is the fastest speed I have ever recorded anything with a camera. Alright, so I can already tell that these higher resolutions, higher frame rates are really eating up the battery because I feel like I've barely been using this camera and we're already at 50%. But for racing, I pretty much always have it in just straight 2.7K, 24 frames a second, because I really don't do a whole lot of slow motion shots or editing in slow motion during race videos. That's typically like training videos like this. Hopefully that will help the battery, and hopefully this new processor isn't taking like a ton more battery, because that would be really disappointing if the battery life is actually worse on this camera with all the same settings. I just finished up my run and the GoPro Hero 10 is still going, but it's battery's about to die. It's at 7% right now. We're gonna go home now and look at some of the footage, and then I'm gonna let you know what I think of the upgrades that GoPro has made to the Hero 10. Let's go. All right, what's up? We're back after my first run with the GoPro Hero 10. And I have to say, after editing the footage that you just watched, I'm positive about this upgrade. I'm actually like really happy with several things, and a couple things I feel like are still a little bit lacking. So this is just going to be my initial first impression. There are plenty of videos out there of people that have had this camera for like a month. Actually, there's a couple big takeaways and positive things with the GoPro Hero 10, but the number one thing in my opinion is the brand new Hypersmooth 4.0. That's something that I immediately noticed when I was editing, that this is just a really big upgrade. The Hypersmooth 3.0 on the Hero 9 was good, but it wasn't as effective as I thought it could be because it was pretty limited. With the Hero 10, you can use the Hypersmooth 4.0 all the way up to 4K 60 frames per second with very, very minimal crop. And this is a pretty big improvement because previously, if I wanted to use Hypersmooth in 60 frames per second, I had to bump the resolution down to 2.7K. Now I have a lot more options because I can use 4K 60 frames per second Hypersmooth 4.0 with minimal cropping, which is great. And the next thing that is an improvement, and this actually was the highest on my list of wants from the Hero 10, is better low light performance. And we're not talking about like game-changing low light performance here. We're talking about a very minimal improvement. As you can see in the shadows, there's a lot less noise, there's a lot less color fringing, and this is going to make it much easier to color grade after the fact, where you can actually keep your exposure low so that you're not blowing out the highlights in the skies, and you can actually have shadows that might have a little bit of detail where you can bring up some of the light in the shadows and not just have them go crazy with the color fringing and all the noise. So overall, this is a big improvement, even though the actual incremental change is very small. It's something that I hope is going to go a long way, especially when color grading and being able to bring up some of those shadows and not just have them go crazy. Thank you, GoPro. Step in the right direction. We'll keep testing it, but I don't really think it's going to be a huge improvement at night. However, the shadows in daytime footage do look better. Next, two quick things. The touchscreen is more responsive and the menus are snappier. So I definitely noticed this when I was running through the woods, trying to change the frame rate or the resolution. It was just a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to get through those menus, and the screen actually seemed to register most of the times that my finger was touching it. The next change that I noticed from the Hero 9 to the Hero 10 was that auto white balance is a little bit more aggressive, and this might be something that I have to change my approach to moving forward, because typically with all previous GoPros, I've left auto white balance on, and I know that this is a pretty big sin in like filmmaking and working with cameras in general, but with the GoPro, it always seemed to just be like just good enough that I could leave it in auto. And especially when I'm trail running, I don't want to be worrying about my white balance. I want to just have it pick what's best and move on. So from the Hero 9 all the way down to every other GoPro I've ever had, it's always been pretty good. It's shifted a little bit, but not crazy. Hero 10, it actually was shifting a lot and all the time. So the next day I was able to go out for a 22-mile long run on the trails with the GoPro Hero 10 and the Hero 9 and really test out a couple of the differences between these two cameras. Two things being heat and like humidity or moisture. And so this run was over 90 degrees and high humidity, super wet because I had these GoPros in my pocket. The GoPro Hero 10 I noticed heated up much faster, and it was actually hot to the touch after even maybe 4 or 5 minutes of recording. So I could definitely see this being an issue if you wanted to record out in the heat for long periods of time. I could definitely see this probably shutting down. Second thing, this is actually a positive, is that there is a coating on the lens of the Hero 10 that repels moisture, and it is awesome. The Hero 9, oftentimes I'd pull it on my pocket and it was just like covered in sweat, and there's no way to wipe it off when you're out on the trail because everything's covered in sweat, or it gets wet and the moisture just sits on that lens for a long time. The Hero 10 performed much better out on this run. I would pull it out of my like gross sweaty pocket and the lens was like perfectly clear. And looking at some of the footage back after this second run out on the trails, long, hot, humid day, this was awesome. So as well as it did perform, I am a little worried about it maybe wearing off or scratching off, but the one good thing about this lens cover is that it is replaceable. So you can just pop it right off just like that, just like on the Hero 9. So hopefully they will be selling these lens covers very soon online, and you can just pick up a couple and have them as spares for your Hero 10 or your Hero 9. And the last thing that I want to say to wrap up my first day, first impression thoughts is that I am pretty bummed that we don't get horizon leveling in anything other than linear mode again. Horizon leveling is not new, but it's always been locked down to just linear mode. Now the Hypersmooth 4.0 is pretty good and it does do a decent job of keeping the horizon level, but it's definitely not the same effect as the full-blown horizon leveling that GoPro does really, really well. So to wrap this up, what is my overall first reaction, first impressions, right out of the box, GoPro Hero 10? For me, someone that uses a GoPro heavily to create content for YouTube, it was an obvious upgrade. The higher frame rates and resolutions, 4K 60, 4K 120, it's really gonna be I'm really going to use that a lot on this YouTube channel. Also, the slightly better dynamic range. It is a little bit smoother in the dark areas. The Hypersmooth 4.0 does work really well. I'm really happy with that. I felt like the Hypersmooth 3.0 on the Hero 9 in 4K just didn't perform very well. That's why I always use 2.7K on the Hero 9. But with the Hero 10, I'll be using the 4K 60 quite a bit, I think, because the Hypersmooth 4.0 is just really, really good. So for me, that was enough to invest into my YouTube channel and pick up this new GoPro Hero 10 right on launch day. But for you, I'm interested in hearing what you think if you have the Hero 9 or a Hero 8, 7, 6, 5. I even had a message from someone that had the Hero 5. So in your opinion, is this a worthy upgrade? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you have any questions, because I'm going to continue to film a ton with this Hero 10, and I'll update you along the way what I think about it. So that's it, my first impressions of the GoPro Hero 10. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you again soon. Bye.